Here we go again.
With politics as completely broken down and full-on crazy.
It's a disgrace to our country. What these guys are doing, Democrats are doing to this country, should never be allowed. What's happened to this president.
Okay, America, Trump has finally been caught digging a hole that he is not going to be able to get out of. This is probably going to end Trump's presidency, and in a matter of months. Impeachment is coming.
Bing, and it goes quickly, right? It's called, you're dead. Treason. It's treason.
There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, treasonous things against our country.
Impeachment inquiry has now become official just 2 days ago, and hearings may begin as early as next week. It's like they were just getting ready for the last year, knowing that something's going to happen. And then they'd move real fast to get rid of him, as he should have been gone a year ago. Here's a quick timeline of the important events surrounding the whistleblower Trump-Ukraine story, which is hard to find. July 20, Donald Trump was seen on Fox News talking about Ukraine and the Democrat server. 5 days later, July 25, was his phone call with the Ukrainian president, which is the source of this scandal. Here's part of the transcript straight from the White House that keeps these records. And as you can see there, he reminds Ukraine president all the things that U.S. does for them just before asking for a favor, just like a mob boss. And he was actually withholding money from them as Russia continues to threaten their sovereignty. And what Trump mostly wants here is a foreign government's help in protecting Trump, having to do with that Russia thing that is a total hoax, and Trump was exonerated, and getting some dirt on Joe Biden, who apparently is who he's most afraid of. Well, he is on top of the polls right now, and it seems like right now is the only time that Donald Trump understands. He seems to live by the moment, never thinking about consequences later on. Now, when a president's speaking over the phone, many people are hearing it, and 6 White House officials who were overhearing this call later brought it up to the whistleblower, who we don't know the identity of. It was the whistleblower who wrote the 9-page memorandum, which is dated August 12, and gave that to the Attorney General, William Barr. At first, I had heard that it went to Congress, but I guess it goes to William Barr, and he goes and gives it to Congress, but he didn't do that, and it's all the stranger that William Barr is implicated as being part of this in the memorandum that the whistleblower gave to Barr. And then Barr, of course, didn't want to give it to Congress. Here's where I'm a little unsure. The memo then got in the hands of the Director of National Intelligence, who we saw testifying 3 days ago. And he says he held on to the memo for a while and then eventually released it. But I'm not sure who he released it to. I think just the White House.
I'm just trying to understand the chronology. You first went to the Office of Legal Counsel and then you went to the White House counsel?
No, sir. No, we went to the White House first to determine, to ask the question.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know is chronology. So you went to the White House first.
Everything here in this matter is totally unprecedented. It just seemed prudent to be able to check and ensure as a member of the executive branch before I sent it forward.
So I guess it didn't reach Congress or us until the whistleblower started speaking. And I guess that's why everybody's talking about a cover-up and a cover-up to the cover-up now. Trump sent Giuliani to the Ukraine to follow through with Trump's phone conversation. And Giuliani said on TV that we're not meddling in an election, we're meddling in an investigation. Well, they're doing both, and both are wrong.
What about the suggestion from Michael Cohen that he is willing to say that the president knew about the Don Jr. meeting in Trump Tower with a Russian lawyer?
The complaint memo said that Giuliani circumvented national security decision-making processes. That right there is just more than enough to remove all these people, these psychos and dumb people, and people who don't care about the law or national security. But that's not all there is. What has happened in just the last 2 days, the Trump team response to this, is what I think is the worst part. The part that suggests these people should be removed and put in high security lockdown in a sanitarium. And I put some blame on the Democratic Party as well as the Republican Party for letting this presidency go on like this, with us knowing that there's no limits to what Trump will do.
What these guys are doing, Democrats are doing to this country is a disgrace.
It is what sociopathic Republicans are doing to this country and have been doing for a long time. That is the disgrace, and Trump is the biggest disgrace that America has ever seen.
And it shouldn't be allowed. There should be a way of stopping it.
Besides the law, this is the classic Trump twist, where he says the opposite of the truth and accuses other people of what's true for him, to a T. Now let's look deeper into how these Republicans would like to stop Democrats in lieu of being able to use legal methods, because Democrats are using legal methods. What are they thinking of as a last resort?
The President of the United States, in a conversation that was intercepted by a rotten snitch, I'd love to whap him, but that's another story. Imagine this poor president, his whole tenure in office has been marked by snitches and rats and backstabbers. Yep. It's amazing how he functions at all.
So this is, of course, what the president is listening to.
Geraldo Rivera is a psychotic asshole who should have been locked up many years ago for letting out military invasion plans. Also consider we don't even know the gender of this whistleblower. Not that it's any better to punch out a guy. I'm just saying that you don't hear anyone going around threatening to punch out women. Why is Geraldo selling any remnants of his dignity and humanity just to protect this Trump asshole who's not doing anything good for our country? The Trump call was not intercepted by the whistleblower. The call was listened to as procedure by 12 people. The whistleblower heard from 6 of those people. And it's like they're admitting there is something wrong with this call. There is nothing wrong with how the whistleblower proceeded.
I want to know who's the person that gave the whistleblower, who's the person that gave the whistleblower the information? Because that's close to a spy. You know what we used to do in the old days when we were smart, right? The spies and treason, right? We used to handle it a little differently than we do now.
So what should we make of that, and what does it tell you about the president's state of mind, Eli?
Well, the fact that he started talking...
Well, no one on TV is willing to just say he is nuts.
Sir, the Constitution says treason is punishable by death. You've accused your adversaries of treason. Who specifically are you accusing of treason?
Well, I think a number of people. Bergdahl, traitor. He's a traitor. Remember the old days? In the old days, being deserters. Boom. In the old days, deserters were shot. Boom.
For people out there who aren't paying close attention, Trump is not so covertly anymore saying he should be able to kill anyone who gets in his way of doing what he wants to do. He has always had this mentality of a mob boss, and he even has mob connections in New York. And he's a sociopath, people. He is. Read the description of a sociopath, and it describes him perfectly. He should have been removed just for that years ago. You know, they have rules. You got to be 35 to be president. You have to be an American citizen, but you should also have to be able to pass psychological tests. We can't have sociopaths being president.
Firing squad. No, it's true. Bing, and it goes quickly, right? It's called, you're dead. Treason. Have done some very, very evil things, very bad things. I would say treasonous things against our country. If you look at Comey, if you look at McCabe, if you look at Strzok, if you...
The guy's sweating. It's him and all of his people.
It was really treason.
And that's what it is. It was treason. This is actually treason. You're just lucky I happen to be the president, because a lot of other presidents would have reacted much differently than I reacted. They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person. That's treason. That's treason. Treason.
Yep. If you know his history, you know he is a vengeful person. That's what he means by the wrong person. He will go after you. He will destroy you. That's what we've seen. Remember Stormy Daniels' lawyer? He is in jail right now. He's been there for months. What about all the people who will not speak up? They know this about Trump.
The wrong person. That's treason. That's treason. Treasonous. Okay?
Speaking of what should not be allowed, we're seeing these politicians, they're mostly the conservatives, Republicans, committing what would be crimes if the average person did them, but they can get away with them. For instance, remember a couple of years ago or so, the Republican who threw a reporter onto the ground of his office? This was the day before his re-election, and he won. So he's in Congress right now instead of prison. And remember the video I made in 2016 showing actual violence? There's some things you've seen. There's that car attack that I made a video of, but there's some things that people haven't seen, things that haven't made the TV. And I also showed some of a video on YouTube, some conservative who's teaching his conservative audience how to give liberals spinal injuries. I'm surprised that video was allowed on YouTube and that he isn't in jail instead. And he was showing actual footage of someone pushing someone down an escalator in a mall who was protesting. And he could have killed the person. And this YouTuber was laughing about it and showed it over and over and over. And a few weeks ago, I predicted that second shooting near El Paso, Texas. And some people laughed at me and said, this is a crazy video, suggesting there's a Trump militia. I'm thinking now that maybe I should just call it the Trump Army. These people are out there. Maybe you've never seen it before in this country, but it could happen. You know, we've had riots before. Who knows what these people will do? But we're going to find out soon. But we have heard Trump use the term locked and loaded. And he is. His brain is locked and loaded. What about his supporters? Some of your neighbors. They've got guns and they're crazy. And they now feel like they're having an injustice done to them. Oh, I know how that feels. And so what about you? You could be the next one that is killed by these Republicans. Hashtag Trump body count.
Americans and Asian Americans have reached the lowest level in the history of our country. USA! The media! The media! Thank you.
Do they think we're stupid?
The Trump administration calling the action a threat to the nation.
Get him out!
The president got peeved over all of this. He insisted Alabama was some of the early projections. You can almost see the sun that's
shot out of the water.